Can you hear me?
Gave me an audible like recording in progress.
Perfect. We'll go ahead and get started here as we get more members that'll log on. But we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order of the Sacramento Public Library Authority to order on Thursday, May 27th, 2021 at 3:01 p.m. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll to establish a quorum.
Angelique Ashby,
Here.
Bobby Singh Allen,
Here.
Don Natoli, Guerra,
Here.
Garrett Gatewood,
Here.
Kevin Spees,
Here.
Mai Vang,
Here.
Patrick Kennedy. Patrick Kennedy,
Here.
Bill Cerna,
Here.
Rich Desmond, Sean Loloe, Sean Farmer,
Here.
Sue Frost,
Here.
Tim Schaefer, Saul Hernandez.
Here.
That's a quorum. This meeting of the Sacramento Public Library Authority is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T UVerse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.net. Today's meeting will be repeated Saturday, May 29th at 4 p.m. on channel 14 and can also be viewed on Metro Cable 14's YouTube channel. The meeting will also be recorded via Zoom. A DVD copy will be available no later than 2 weeks following today's meeting. The full agenda, including reports, is available on the library website at www.saclibrary.org. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should raise their hand in the Zoom program. Please speak clearly when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard. Please also note that participation in this teleconference via telephone rather than through the Zoom app may result in your telephone number being visible to the public during the live broadcast and later telecast of this meeting.
Great, thank you very much. If everyone could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Board members, we've got our fiscal year 2021 budget and a couple items on closed session. Madam Clerk, if we could please go to the first item on the agenda. Public comments, matters not on the agenda.
I don't see any hands raised.
Seeing no, we have one here from Joel Marbella Rosario.
Would you like us to go ahead?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Hi, we just wanted to take this opportunity to just express our appreciation for everything that you've all done to persevere in this pandemic. We are super users. We especially use the Art Endemic branch over on Watt Avenue. I think my son checked, we've literally checked out thousands of books over the course of our time at that branch. And over the pandemic, it's literally been hundreds. I just really appreciate what you've done to keep the doors open in such a unique year where we've basically been home and we've been forced to learn in such a unique way. I can say for a fact that because of you, my children have not experienced learning loss. And in fact, they are thriving and they love what you've done. And I just personally if it wasn't for my own Watsonville Public Library, I wouldn't be where I even got to be. And so I just want to encourage you in whatever decisions you make, that you actually are a link for a lot of people to opportunities. And I hope you can see that, but literally being able to check out books from you, when my kids say order that, they don't mean Amazon, and they mean your system. And I hope that that can resonate with you, and that more people can value what that means. I think that also just brings a stewardship aspect.
Oh, you went mute all of a sudden.
So anyway, we just wanted to say thank you. And if the kids could take a moment, they each wanted to just thank their special librarians.
Gracias a la señora Angela y a la señora Kim por siempre ayudarnos a escoger libros. Thank you.
Miss Angela.
Thank you, Miss Angela and Miss Kim, for always helping us choose great books. I put up my summer reading time today.
Very exciting. Well, thank you. Muchas gracias otra vez por su participación.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks again. Appreciate it. And yes, I love that Watsonville Library too.
Awesome. Oh, that's right.
Great. We have also Mayor Bobby Singh Allen here.
Hi, I just want to do a shout out to Rosario and the kids there. That's just great to hear that kind of feedback, particularly learning that your kids are thriving with distance learning. That is not a testimony that we hear all too often. So whatever recipe of success that you're doing, share it. I know that our other families and kids would benefit from that, but thank you for participating and sharing those warm feelings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Singh Allen. Madam Clerk, any other members from the public signed up to speak? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to item number 3. We've got presentations from our friends of the Sacramento Public Library.
Good afternoon, members. Thank you so much for having the friends with you. And those comments from Rosario and her family are ones that we heard on our big day of giving in the comments section, how much the library means to families, especially families with children. That was great to hear them in person today. Of course, our big news is the big day of giving, which was a huge success again this year for several reasons. The Friends raised $102,757 for the library's Book First program, which provides a free book to first graders in high need schools throughout Sacramento. And that was up $40,000 from last year, which was a record year. So Sacramento continues to be very generous and more aware than ever of the Book First program. It's also important to us that we had 643 donors, putting us number 8 on a leaderboard of 688 nonprofits. Of those donors, nearly 200 were brand new to the Friends Big Day of Giving campaign. So we think this indicates that our donors are coming back and new ones are finding us. Our lead donor, Delta Dental, really got us off to a great start with a very generous challenge grant. And thanks to any and all of you who participated with us, and especially Director Ashby, who made us the star of her Twitter feed early in the day, urging others to donate. Thank you. I'd like to also give massive credit where it is due to our Big Day of Giving team, Karen Lind of North Highlands Antelope, Anita Scurry with Arden Dimick Friends. Our wonderful Friends board had 100% donation participation, and many put in shifts thanking donors in real time for all 24 hours. Also, our social media team was really on it this year. Denise Watts, Kathy Windheim of Pocket Friends, Charmaine Jennings, and Pat Bowen Kuntz. So thanks to all of these folks and more, we hope to be ready for a challenging post-pandemic school year. And thank you to the library's stellar communications team, Lisa Martinez, Brian Strand, Donna Zick, and of course to our director, Rivka Sass. And that brings us to our next exciting challenge. Our Friends Investing in Sacramento Public Library will be undertaking a campaign for the Young Readers Fund. And that is an endowed fund in honor of Rivka Sass that supports Sacramento Public Library in nurturing young readers. You'll be hearing more about that in coming months. It's our way to create a permanent legacy honoring Rivka for her outstanding service to all of Sacramento. And thank you. That's my report.
Great. Thank you very much, Karen. Appreciate all the hard work you all at the Friends of Sacramento Public Library are doing.
Thank you.
And our next item here, favorite of mine, summer reading 2021.
Okay, well, this is my chance to get to highlight some of the work that we are doing. My name is Christy Ham. I am the Youth Services Manager for Sacramento Public Library. And along with a bunch of people behind the scenes, we make summer reading happen every year. So I want to tell you a little bit about what we have planned. So let me go ahead and find, oh my goodness. Hold on one second. I will share my screen. All right, so. Okay, because summer reading is what we do. So 2021, what's going to happen? So why do we do summer reading? Summer reading is something that we do at Sacramento Public Library and every public library every year, because this is our chance to really demonstrate that reading is for fun. It is enjoyable. All reading is good reading, and that you can read anywhere. We want to celebrate for all ages, that everybody can have a part in reading for fun and enjoyment, and we want to celebrate. So here's how it works. Going from now until August 15th, people of all ages can sign up, and it's really simple to do. You can do it on our website. There's an app for all ages can participate. You track your reading and you can earn prizes. So for signing up, we have some incentives this year, activity sheets for the young ones that they can track all different kinds of literacy activities. And we have all kinds of puzzles and things. We have a sticker. And this year, you see we have our badge books, which are amazing. This is a great opportunity this year to do some hands-on learning and activities that we haven't had a chance to do in this difficult year. So the badge book is a great opportunity. It helps lead people through tracking their reading. They can use stickers and so forth to make the reading activities that they do fun. It also has some book lists and some challenges throughout the badge book. It's 80 pages worth of fun. So we have those while supplies last in all locations to make summer even more enjoyable. Now, how does it work? You read books and you win prizes. So on the website, you can track the books that you read or the activities that you do. We have learning challenges for all ages, highlighting some of the special programs that we have to offer. You can earn points for all kinds of things. We want to make sure people are learning and growing during the summer. So you get a free book for 5 books or 500 points. For 25 books or 2,500 points, you earn a summer reading medal. And we have people who've earned medals every year and come back and look forward to this every year. It's a really great way to motivate kids and even adults. Adults can earn these things too. Adults 18 and up also earn points. They get a book bag or a chip clip this year, and also a free book coupon from the Friends Book Den. Thank you to the Friends of Sacramento Public Library for supporting this effort. And they also can earn a medal for participating. So here's just a few of the great prizes we have. This year's medal glows in the dark, pretty exciting. So we think anything that keeps people celebrating the magic and the fun of reading is part of what we do. So summer, please join us. We do have a bunch of great programs planned this summer. We have a kids science book club. We have a teen summer leadership academy. We have all kinds of great things for all ages. In addition, our story times, our summer learning zone this year, our homework zone is shifting to summer learning zone for the summer. So we hope that you will all be part of the fun. In addition, lunch at the library is something that the library has done every year, and we are going to repeat that this year. Except it's going to be a little bit different. It's a takeout model this year because of some of the USDA waivers and such. We'll be passing out meals to consume at home offsite. We'll be able to give out 3 days worth of meals, 2 meals and a snack for kids 18 and under at 10 library locations. We'll have distributions twice a week. Tuesdays and Fridays from 11 to 12, and that starts June 15th and goes through August 6th. And the whole intent of lunch at the library is to make sure that families have access to free, healthy meals when school is out. We will connect that also to summer reading, of course, and all the other activities that the library is doing. So I know that we have a very full agenda. I'm going to stop my sharing, but if there are any questions about any of these things, I stand here ready to support, and I hope that all of you will sign up for summer reading too.
Great, thank you, Christy. Yes, exciting to have summer reading continue on, and I encourage anyone who hasn't had the opportunity to to reach out to Christy and get to know a little bit about what's happening in your neck of the woods. Well, thank you, Christy. Appreciate that. We'll go ahead and move on here on our agenda to item number 4, our executive team report.
Thank you, Chair Guerra. I want to again reiterate the library's thanks to the Friends for the big day of giving. That was it was quite a day, and we're very proud of the work that they do, and especially that they have bought in body and soul. I don't know if you're looking at the Zoomosphere here, but the Cat in the Hat is visiting us, and hi Pam, and without them, we wouldn't be able to do this program. And it's so important for children to own their own books. I'll refer the board to the written report, but I want to call out just a couple of things. And that is that our early learning and development department, Donna Zick and Nate Halson, are distributing 4,000 Storytime to Go kits throughout the county. And they're wonderful. They're filled with great activities, a book, tip sheets that can help parents in their role as their child's first teacher. And it's a great way for people to learn and understand the library. So we're very excited about that. Some news, potential good news on the budget front is that there is perhaps some American Rescue Plan money for libraries. Well, there actually is. It's the Emergency Connectivity Fund. And we're exploring what that means for Sacramento Public Library. Jared is on hand to answer any questions you have or to further summarize this. But we see that as very good news for public libraries throughout the nation. As here in California, we see as good news the governor's budget that included several proposals involving libraries, including a $50 million infrastructure fund, which is about 25% of the deferred maintenance needs of libraries throughout the state of California, but it's a start, and that is important. We're looking forward to hearing more information about that, and hope that it will actually lead to other perhaps awareness of the needs of public libraries, most of whom have stayed open during this time of pandemic, have figured out how to provide services, and are here for our communities. I still haven't quite gotten over the tears that Rosario and her boys generated, because that's why we're here. That's why we do it. We do it to hear stories like that, and we do it to make sure that kids don't fall through the cracks. So that was very, very important for us to hear. I want to mention that we conducted, and the ad hoc search committee of the board for the new director knows, but we did go through an RFP process, received 6 proposals, interviewed 3 firms, and selected WBCP, which has offices in Gold River, Oregon, and presence here in Roseville. They have a lot of JPA experience, which we think is very important. And they offered some creative responses to the proposals. So we're very excited about beginning that process, and we'll be convening a meeting with the search committee very soon. Finally, I want to mention that the month of May was dedicated to our colleague, Amber Clark, who was tragically killed in December of 2018. We did some special programming in honor of Amber. Of course, had there not been a pandemic, we would have been celebrating that beautiful piece of art that was created at the North Natomas Library. Thank you, Director Ashby, for your behind the scenes work on making that happen for us, as well as the teen space that has hardly been used, because shortly after it was completed, we went into lockdown. Our communication staff did a beautiful video, and we're going to beg 7 minutes of your time so that you can see this important video as we celebrate the beautiful life of Amber Clark and all that she means to all of us and the impact that she's had on Sacramento Public Library. So Jared's going to put that out for us. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Clark, and I am Amber's widower. Amber was from Woodward, Oklahoma. In particular, she grew up caring for her younger sister, Heather, who was born with Down syndrome. And this experience gave Amber a strong sense of dedication to the needs of others.
So my sister, Amber, she's about 4 years younger than me. We call her Fawn. Her name is Amber Fawn. Having a sister with Down syndrome, Fawn and I, and my parents, of course, even at a young age, her and I both realized, how hard that is.
So I first met Amber Clark when she was a brand new employee, and I was immediately impressed and struck by her presence.
That Amber was quite shy, and it was her experience as a high school cheerleader that helped her learn how to overcome that shyness.
She always loved reading and loved books.
There was a stack of books on her nightstand at any given time. And even as a librarian, she would rack up late fees.
I can remember growing up in Northwest Oklahoma, and we had a magical library there. I think Fawn probably fell in love with libraries even more when she started going to college.
The library primarily was about inclusion, and that was what so much of her work was focused on.
Amber was a very strategic and thoughtful person. It wasn't enough for her to make people feel welcome in the library. She wanted more. She wanted our patrons to feel a sense of ownership.
I think that she looked at the library as the resource that the community could come into for any variety of things.
She was always looking for who wasn't at the table, who wasn't in the library that could be, who wasn't served by the library that could be.
If we think of knowledge as power, then to Amber, the library was a power generator open for everyone.
I think what was most important to Amber as a librarian was making sure that everyone in the community felt that they were part of the library system.
Amber has been a lifelong advocate for people with disabilities, making sure that the library and all of its resources are accessible to everyone.
She's always seen the need for accessibility for those individuals who don't always have access to it. And I think Heather is the root of that.
Amber came in and led a team of folks in a way that really made all of us think differently about the disabled community and accessibility of library services.
Amber became our ringleader, and she pulled us all together. And with the goals we had come up with, she helped to provide focus and continuity.
She was a big part of what started the Library Insiders program for adults and teens with disabilities to have a space and a time in the library that is just for them.
I had the opportunity to work with Amber and 2 other staff members conducting hardwood conversations in the community to find out what our youth with disabilities needed and wanted.
And through a state grant, that committee went on to train 13 other California library systems.
One of the first things Amber did when she came to North Natomas was take a look at the teen room. And one of the first conversations that we had was about how we could make the teen room a better space and better meet the teens' needs.
And Amber was really driven to create that space. So in her name, in her honor, in her memory, afterwards, several of us pulled together, including the friends of the library. We created this really wonderful teen space that speaks to young people, that gives them an area to learn, to be safe, to be together.
It will be one of those things that actually is enjoyed by teens and tweens for many, many years to come, because it's a space that was truly designed to serve their needs. There was an art installation at the North Natomas Library that Amber absolutely loved.
Amber worked with the artist Vincent Michael Demjanovich for the temporary installation of his Living Colors project.
It was an interactive art piece. If you walked up to it as a wall and touched it, it changed colors.
People were interacting with other people interacting with the art piece. it created this opportunity for people to connect without even talking to each other.
Amber really felt that that interactive component was extremely important for welcoming people in.
Living Colors Open Book came out of an initial opportunity that we had to place some technology-focused work at a number of locations around the city of Sacramento.
When she passed away, I knew I wanted to do a permanent piece.
We had Vincent Michael design the work based on the location that we had available at the North Natomas Library.
She would be so pleased that we have the art piece in our lobby.
And hopefully for people who visit the North Natomas branch and they walk through the entrance and they see that art piece, that they feel welcomed and that they see, an opportunity to engage and interact.
I think Amber's biggest legacy with Sacramento Public Library is the fact that we have changed who we are regarding accessibility and accessible services.
Her legacy is in the people that she worked with and the people that she worked in the community with who know her and value her, and also just the advocacy that got us to where we are today.
When we look at all the things that we learn from her, it's huge. It makes such a big difference in who we are as individuals and then what we are as a library.
Part of the legacy she left behind was reminding us of what we are capable.
She would be so proud of how people have continued and gathered all of those important things that she was striving for and working toward.
Amber shunned recognition and never seemed to realize the amazing impact she had on others, or that she deserved such recognition. That I knew that she deserved that kind of recognition, and so did her friends and family. It goes without saying, but I miss her. I miss her every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of her.
Thank you. I want to thank our wonderful communications team, especially Brian Strand, for putting the video together, and Amber's family, Kelly, and her sister, Kiana. It's beautiful, and I wish we weren't showing you a video. I wish we were all listening to her talk about the amazing programs and programming that she's developed for us. But thanks for indulging us. Tuesday would have been Amber's 44th birthday, and I wish we were celebrating, but thank you. Thank you. If there are any questions from the board, I'd be happy to answer them. Kelly, did you want to?
Yeah. Thank you to all the team here for that.
All
Do you have
right.
any questions from the board? Councilmember Ashby?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Chair Garrett. That was a really beautiful piece. And Kelly, I so appreciate your friendship and leadership and everything you've done to help us and the library really honor Amber. I've said this before a lot of times, but that was the worst day of my entire career as a council member. And I look at those faces, Heather and Barbara, and it just takes me back to that night. And what an amazing team she had already developed in Natomas. What an incredible legacy for such a young woman. You know, the teen room and the art piece are fantastic. I am really proud to have been able to be a part of either one. And I think that art piece does exactly what Amber wanted it to do. You know, we got that temporary art piece. She and I did this little thing with the artist when it first arrived. And I remember her saying to me, "Oh, I wish we could keep it," because it makes everybody that comes into the library, you know, touch the wall it's just so cool to see little kids and the security guard and everybody else want to touch the wall and get involved, right? And so I'm so glad that we've made that permanent for her. She wanted that. And that teen room is extra cool, as you saw on the video. And for those of you that don't know, the North Natomas Library sits on the campus of Indorcom High School and American River College. So it's heavily used by young people. And that can be a challenge, one that Amber faced a lot, actually, you know, but also it can be a big opportunity and blessing. And I'm glad that we've, you know, been able in her honor to kind of create that cool space. So thanks for letting me, Kelly, thanks for letting me be a part of it all.
Thank you, Board Member Ashby. Appreciate that. Other comments from the board? Great. Thank you again for everyone for that, all that great work, and for that amazing video that was put together here in honor of Amber Clark here. Rivka, any other items here on the executive report?
I do want to mention that May is Bike Month. Sorry, that was, I'm still feeling that beautiful video. But May is Bike Month, and I want to call your attention to Becky Garrow's trip around all 28 libraries. When I talked to her a couple of days ago, she was just, I think she had 2 left. So I'm going to actually show you where the journey started. She started her trip in Ileton because it was the longest piece of the journey for her. And as she said, you get to see libraries in a different way. So I just wanted to end with that, because it's important as it gets warmer and warmer. We all need to be riding our bikes more, right, Jenny? I see Jenny, one of our staff, amazing facilities team member, rides her bike every day. And I see lots of staff doing that. So thank you so much. I think that is it, unless Jared wants to add anything about anything. And I don't see Kathy on my screen, but I'm sure she's here.
Well, thank you very much. And yes, May's Bike Month, and we've joined all in with my little son learning how to go on his bike with pedals without training wheels. So hopefully we'll get him to ride to all libraries at some point as well.
There you go. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rivka. Thank you again to the team there. And we'll go on to our 5th item on the agenda, informational items. Any questions from the board for any of the informational items for our staff? Great. We'll move on then to item number 6, our consent calendar. Does any member of the board wish to pull any item off consent? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Been moved by Vice Chair Gatewood. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mayor Bobby Singh Allen. Madam Clerk, do we have any comments from the public?
No hands raised.
No hands raised, seeing no comments. Any questions from the board? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, if you please call the roll.
Angelique Ashby,
Yes.
Bobby Singh Allen,
Yes.
Don Natoli, Eric Guerra,
Aye.
Garrett Gatewood,
Aye.
Kevin Spees,
Aye.
And then run.
Mai Vang,
Yes.
Patrick Kennedy,
Aye.
Bill Cerna,
Aye.
Sean Farmer,
Aye.
Sue Frost,
Aye.
Saul Hernandez.
Aye.
It's unanimous with all members present.
Great. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. All right, now to our main action item of the day, our fiscal year 2021-2022 budget. Johnny, I think this is all you.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to mention, I wanted to thank Johnny, Kurt, and the finance team for putting together a budget. We still have, we're cautiously optimistic that this year is going to be a good year, but we still, as you know, have concerns about what's going to happen down the road. Johnny, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. And I do want to thank for Johnny and staff for a very thorough budget committee hearing. We know we've got new members and a lot of education there. So thank you, Johnny.
All right. So thank you, Chair Guerra and members of the board. So bikes and budget are two of my favorite topics. So anyhow, I'm just going to walk you through the budget message, the exhibits, and then just feel free to ask any questions along the way. Now my screen is shared, so I can't really see you. If you need to ask any questions, just go ahead and just give me a holler, and we'll make sure we answer any questions that you might have.
Oh, Johnny, to help, I'll keep an eye on any members who raise their hands.
So let's dive right into the numbers. And so before we go there, anytime that we talk about cities and county budget unit, that is referred to as unincorporated areas of the county of Sacramento, the cities of Citrus Heights, Elk Grove, Galt, Ileton, and Rancho Cordova. And then obviously the city of Sacramento has its own budget units. So looking at the pie chart, so I know finance, it's mainly numbers, but looking at the pie chart, it's easier to see where the funding sources are coming from. So total revenues, we are projecting a cumulative total of 53 million combined. And of that amount, 54.4% is from the county of Sacramento, 25.5% from City of Sacramento General Fund / Measure U contributions, household taxes, measures X and B combined at 16.6%, and 3.4% from miscellaneous income. Expenditures, we are projecting a total expenditures of 54.2 million. So salaries, as you know, we are a service industry, so 55% to salaries and bennies. Services and supplies, deferred maintenance at 25.5%. Books and materials, 15%, and capital projects at about 4.5%. We'll take a look at the details shortly in the exhibits, but any questions so far?
I don't see any hand raised. We can keep on going.
So just going down to the next page. So our projected budget revenues is coming in at approximately 1.7 million higher than fiscal year 21. So of that amount, 1.1 is projected increases for property tax within the county jurisdiction and the 5 cities. And this is mainly a 4% increase. And as you know, the property markets, or real estate market has skyrocketed within the last year and a half. Homes are amazingly selling at, with hundreds of offers at times. So the concern that so that's great news. And then on the flip side, the concern that we also have is how long is that hot real estate market going to last? So that is something that we are keeping a close eye on and working with the county assessor to make sure that we project within a reasonable estimate for property taxes. City of Sacramento General Fund, we are anticipating 800,000 increase in step-up increases. So this is built into the 5-year forecast. So we feel comfortable about these two bigger revenue projections. Household taxes measure X and B combined, so 185,000 and 70,000 respectively. So this is mainly a 3% CPI increase based on the San Francisco CPI. Fees, we are estimating to be at about 150,000 As you know, we suspended collecting fines and fees during the closure. So hopefully we can resume some sense of normalcy and pursue collecting fees for lost materials and collections, books that we have checked out. Gallery income, again, we are projecting 150,000. So this is about 1/3 of what we would normally project within a fiscal year. So again, assuming that things starts to reopen and within the second half of the fiscal year, we can start having proms, weddings, meetings, and so forth, that customers would start renting out the gallery facilities. Interest income is going to stay fairly flat. The equity market is strong, but the bond market, where we invest within the city of Sacramento city treasurer, it's hovering at about a little bit over 1%. So it's fairly stable, but it's not seeing a major uptick within the bond markets. And then other revenues, you see a negative 773,000 here. This is mainly a year-over-year projection, and we do not budget grants, donations, and things like that until we actually know what the amounts are and receive the grants. So as we receive the money throughout the year, we'll bring it back to the board for approval and amend the budget. So again, year-over-year revenue estimate is up at about 1.7 million combined. And then just moving on to the expenditures. So total expenditures, again, 54.2 million. The county/city budget units, we are anticipating revenues of 29.1 million and expenditures of 31 million even. So using approximately 1.9 million in fund balance reserves. And that's mainly for capital projects throughout the county branches. Just to name a few, there'll be a couple of restroom repairs, carpet and paint repairs, tablet stations throughout the branches. So those are one-time projects that we have in the works for the county locations, and also increasing books and materials. As we heard from Rosario and her kids early on, books are in high demand, and throughout the pandemic, e-books, electronic items will really hot items to be checked out. City of Sacramento budget unit. Again, just as a reminder, this is made up of the general fund contribution and Measure U. So 13.6 million combined. Household taxes, Measures X at 6.4 million, and Measure B at 2.4 million. So for a total City of Sacramento budget unit of 23.2 million. And so that's total revenues. Expenditure, we are projecting to be at 22.7 million. So this is going to result in a net surplus for the first time in a long time of approximately 500,000. And it's mainly due to the step-up increases and also delayed in project expenditures that we have within fiscal year 21, which will be carried over into fiscal year 22 as we move on into the months. So that's the city side. And then, so speaking of step-up increases, as you know, back in approximately over 10 years ago, the city of Sacramento built 3 beautiful new libraries: Valley High North, North of Thomas, and Robbie Waters Pocket Greenhaven libraries. And as you recall, as soon as those branches were built, the Great Recession hit. And so there was a downturn in property taxes. The economy kind of went downwards. And so we had the beautiful buildings, but we were not getting additional contributions from the city for operations and capital needs. So since then, we've been working with the city's finance team and the budget team to figure out a plan where we can keep the library sustainable and operating currently as well as future in future years as well too. So they were able to come up with step-up increases. So the last 4 years, as you see here in the staff report, ranging from 1.3 million increase to $1 million to 2.1 million in fiscal year 21 over the last 4 years. And then in fiscal year 22, we are projecting a step-up increase of 800,000 from the City of Sacramento General Fund / Measure U combined. And then looking forward, again, part of the 5-year step-up plan is to give an additional 700,000 in contribution to the library in fiscal year 23. Fiscal year 24, no increases. Fiscal year 25, $500,000. And fiscal year 26, no increases. So again, these are projected and built into the city's 5-year plan. But as the city's finance director has always reminded me and Rivka, although these are built in, there are no guarantees. So if the city has any fiscal impact, I'm sure other city departments will also have to deal with it, including the library. So this is a great sign down the road, but we're hoping that we can, follow through and have the resources that we need. Central distribution. So the central building, as you know, that's a 5-story building, really beautiful building. And of that amount, 600, oops. So of that amount, it's a 160,000 square foot building. So of that amount, we use approximately 34,000 for administrative departments, including finance, HR facilities, IT, collections, as well as storing their vehicles. So part of the central distribution is to allocate equitable cost to the county library funding sources at 382,000, 86,000 to Measure X, and 26,000 to Measure B. And so with the shared cost, this is our internal service fund, and it's mainly allocated based on an annual comprehensive cost allocation plan update. And so once we have the allocable amount, which is 20.1 million, this is allocated based on our cost plan outcomes, which I'll go to that page really quick. So based on the cost allocation plan, fiscal year 21-22, it's coming out at 57% to the county fund, 27% to City of Sacramento General Fund, Measure B at 5%, and Measure X at 11%. So starting this fiscal year, as you see here, the average City of Sacramento is about 58%. I mean, the county / cities. And City of Sacramento is 25% and 4% and 13%. So we're recommending to use a 5-year average rather than the 1 year percentage. A couple of things. This phases out any one-time anomalies in terms of cost spikes and increase in cost in 1 year. So using a 5-year average makes sense. So this is what we'll recommend for the board for going forward. So going back to the cost the shared cost budget. So taking those percentages, we've allocated 21.1 million in allocable overhead cost. So 11.7 million is going to the county fund. City of Sacramento, 5 million. Measure X, 2.6, and Measure B, 804,000 for a total of 20.1 million. Looking ahead to capital projects and food maintenance. I know Sue is in the meeting right now, so I'm sure she's really happy about the progress of the Orangeville Library. So we're going from 4,300 square feet to almost doubling up in square footage. So the project is near completion, and I heard that it's going to be opening up in the first quarter of the next fiscal year. So the project cost is about 1.6 million, but I think the money is well spent, and the community is going to love the building. Staff is going to appreciate the bigger space, and the enhanced building itself inside as well as outside also.
Mr. Chair?
Chair, we have a board member Natoli, I think, on the phone here.
Yeah, I do. Yes, if I could. Johnny, just while you're at that point on the capital projects, and just not to interrupt your presentation, but since you're on that, and yeah, I would concur that Orangeville Library improvements are, certainly were long overdue, and going to be greatly appreciated by staff, but certainly by the community. And I know Supervisor Frost, Director Frost, has been very supportive and been a leader in getting those things accomplished. I wanted to ask about, though, and you touched on it earlier on the county city side, that some of the other improvements in county libraries, like tablet stations and a couple of restroom upgrades and some paint and carpet. We've got the master plan coming back before our board of supervisors in about a week and a half. And I guess what I would try to find in this budget, and maybe just take a moment to help me understand so where's the priority list for capital improvements? I see it in the county's master plan side, but one of the questions I have, and that'll be for that day, is it doesn't say, we talk about Arden Dimick needing, complete remodel. We talk about new libraries needed in a couple of our growing communities, both in Rancho Cordova, but in the Vineyard area, other major improvements. And again, I'm pleased that we're, again, through the funding arrangement here with the JPA, finding, we're moving, I guess, $1.8 million over from fund balance to do the improvements as outlined in your report and in the budget report here. But I guess, where's the bigger list, and how does that dovetail? Because I'm very interested, again, on the board side of this, board supervisors, to have a conversation that if we were to dedicate additional dollars, however we choose to find that money, if that's the board's will, where does that get plugged in? Because again, it's great that we can, fix some restrooms and put some paint and carpet in, but from what I read in the master plan document, there's some bigger, not so much deferred maintenance as just some bigger needs there. And again, we're never going to get out with nickel and dimes. That's my view anyway. And so I guess I'm curious, Johnny, if you can help me understand I understand the relationship, but if in fact money were dedicated towards libraries in the unincorporated area, or those where we have arrangements with the cities, how that money gets programmed, and where's the priority list for that? Does library have a different priority list than what the county has recommended in its master plan?
Director Natoli, I think David Hillier, our facilities manager, and Jared Keller probably, they know the buildings way more intimately than the rest of us do. We have put together priority lists at various times, but do either of you want to tackle that?
Jarrett, you want me to take it?
Go for it, David.
Okay, so there's some deferred maintenance that the city and county have pointed out for all the buildings. And we sat down and took a look at what was needed at some of the branches and came up with a budget Caught me a little
Don't
unprepared.
misunderstand, David, I'm not encountering anything that's in the recommend. I want to know though, if we had more money, significant, and how do we get to those, the big chunks? If you got to do a rebuild of Art Dimick, you're talking about millions. If you're going to build a new library somewhere, you're talking about millions. Where does that fall in the priority list beyond, deferred maintenance, roofs, carpet, paint, those types of things?
It really goes back to the county to having that conversation now that the facilities master plan has been, well, we're waiting for it to be blessed by the County Board of Supervisors. But honestly, that then comes down to a very serious conversation about what gets to be first in line. Jared, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, and Director Natoli, we do have priorities, like you said, that Rivka had alluded to, where we've gone through and we've done our own punch list on the buildings, and some of these priorities are kind of in line with what the county has. But the issue is that in many cases, many of our buildings are 20, 30, 40 years old, and it's really a new comprehensive relook at some of these. And this is the opportunity that the plan is giving us. So what we have historically done is we've done a really good job at doing these little mini branch refreshes to make our libraries more accessible. And what the master plan is helping us do is do maybe a much larger holistic, assessment. And really, how do we move forward in providing services in these locations the next 10, 15 years? So as Rivka said, this is our opportunity now to start having those much bigger conversations.
And we'll plan on, I was just going to say, we'll plan on coming back in July with a more comprehensive list for you to review, because hopefully that gives the Board of Supervisors time to review the facilities master plan, make their adjustments if they need to, and then gives us time to sit down, because we've done a priority list just about every year in the 12 years I've been here. It's a very long list. And then figuring out how to prioritize it so we can make it happen is the next challenge.
Yeah, thank you, Rivka. I was going to suggest that if we could bring that conversation back in July, and also there's the true up in September with the budget as well. So I think there's a couple opportunities to align these together.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. No, and I appreciate it. Again, I don't want to take any more time than necessary. I wanted to understand how that dovetails, because we've got this on our agenda for June 8th with the master plan, but I'm most interested in having a conversation about, it's great to have plans, but I want to see I think others want to see the list, but also then to have the serious conversation, sooner rather than later, of putting some money to that, so we can start, beyond, I say a few $100,000 a year towards things that are the highest need, but kind of know how that fits both with our budgetary discussions at the county side of the house, where I understand that's where the money's going to have to come from. It's not going to come from this source if you're going to do anything major. You're going to do the worst first, and and keep chipping along, but it really never gets you to a point of major reconstruction or construction. And that's the conversation I'm interested in having at the board side, and certainly it dovetails with the library authority. So that's why I'm asking the question, Mr. Chair.
Great. No, thank you very much. Appreciate it, Board Member Natoli. Great.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Natoli. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. The funding sources is the key, and as you know, the buildings and facilities are owned by the jurisdiction. So the county owns its buildings, the city owns their buildings. These budgets that we have, these are mainly for small minor repairs that we based on urgent needs, but the bigger infrastructure, those are the topic of discussions.
Okay, thanks, John.
So just moving on to books and materials. So we are recommending $8 million. This is an increase of $1 million for the fiscal year 20, from fiscal year 21 fiscal year 21 to fiscal year 22. And as we saw in the early part of the meeting, Rosario and the kids spoke about the importance of books, and not just to her families, but to millions of other families out, checking out books from the Sacramento Library. So of that amount, 4.6 million is from the County of Sacramento Fund. and 3.4 million from the City of Sacramento funding sources combined. For budget position control, this is mainly a reclass of positions and netting a decrease of 2 positions, so from 301 positions currently to 299 positions. Fee structures, as you recall, we recommended suspending fines and fees throughout the pandemic. So that's been over a year ago. So at this point, we are recommending to eliminate all fines and just keeping the fees. And by reducing fines, this really removes any barriers for community members to check out books. It will allow better equity and also allow the SPL to better serve our community members. So the net fiscal impact of that change is approximately 300,000 in fines that we're not going to collect down the road, and that's approximately 1% of our total revenue sources. Ongoing, so fiscal year, future year challenges. Again, one of the main challenges is keeping up with the infrastructure maintenance needs. So on the city side, we have approximately 9.1 million in unfunded capital needs, and of that amount is 6 million for the Martin Luther King Library branch. So the SPL staff will continue to work with the city's budget team and also use some of our unreserved fund balances to address any urgent, immediate capital needs. Inflation continues to drive up costs, not just for operations, but for capital projects as well. Also, CalPERS, with the lowering the discount rate from 7.5% to 7%, that's going to equate to about 425,000 increase in our employee contribution over the next 4 years. So that's the staff report. Any questions on those?
Great, thank you, Johnny. First, I want to thank all the staff and everyone on this great work. The positive thing is, because of both equity and property taxes, we're in a good position, and like all of us locally, we have some long-term challenges to keep an eye on here. Any questions from the board? Or let me first ask, do we have any questions from the public, Madam Clerk? If not, let me go back to the board here.
See any questions?
Great, thank you. Thank you, Heather. Let me take it back to the board here. Great presentation. Any questions from our board members here? Seeing none, the way our budget works is we'll have a true up back in September once we individually pass our county and individual city budgets here as well. So we'll see this again. And I think we're going to have those conversations that board member Natoli brought up as well. So if there are no questions from the board, I'll entertain a motion to approve the budget and move forward with this item.
So moved.
It's been moved by Vice Chair Gatewood.
Second.
It's been seconded by board member Sue Frost. Madam, any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Angelique Ashby,
Yes.
Bobby Singh Allen,
Yes.
Don McCauley,
Aye.
Eric Guerra,
Aye.
Garrett Gatewood,
Yes.
Kevin Spees,
Aye.
Mai Bang,
Yes.
Patrick Kennedy. Patrick Kennedy. Bill Cerna.
Aye.
Sean Farmer,
Aye.
Sue Frost. Aye. Saul Hernandez.
Aye.
And is Patrick Kennedy still here? That's unanimous with 11 members present.
Great. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Okay, on to our last agenda item, closed session. Madam Clerk, I believe these two items need to be read into the record for us to move into closed session. And then we'll be going into a waiting room again. Is that correct, Rivka?
Yeah, you'll go right into the room.
Yes, Heather's set up a waiting room
Fantastic. Thank you, Heather.
or a breakout room.
Item 8.1, conference with labor negotiators, Government Code Section 54957.6. Agency designated representatives, lead negotiator Shalene Bennett, Rivka Sass, Christopher True, Kathy Crossway, and Johnny E. Employee Organization of International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 39, AFL-CIO, covering all employees in the library unit. Item 8.2, conference with labor negotiators, Government Code Section 54957.6. Agency designated representatives, lead negotiator Shalene Bennett, Rivka Sass, Christopher True, Kathy Crossway, and Johnny E. Employee Organization, International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 39, AFL-CIO, covering all employees in the supervisor unit. And I will open the room.
Great. Thank you, everyone. You'll see the blue button to join, and we'll see you in the closed session.
It looks like we're all back. We're just here to report out that the board did approve terms of a tentative agreement with the supervisory unit of Local 39 and directed staff to bring back a formal amendment to the MOU in June to document those proposed terms. And that's the only reportable action that we have.
All right, thanks, guys. So do I adjourn the meeting?
Can we just finish the agenda in about 30 seconds, Heather?
Go for it, Heather. Heather?
That's it. That's the last. Oh, reports, ideas, and questions from board members.
Do you guys have anything to talk about? All right.
Thank you all so much.
Seeing none. Good job, Rivka. Meeting adjourned. See all you guys soon.
Thank you. Thanks for all your hard work, you guys.
Thank you.